Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Love Storyteller Tarot. My name is Jeanette and this is going to be your full moon reading, love, spirituality reading, June 17th, 2019. And it's in the archetype of Sagittarius. Just want to say a warm welcome to my new subscribers. Welcome to small community, but a lovely community. I've only just come back, so hopefully we can build that. And you know, for your likes and shares, etc. So I really do appreciate it. Now, the last one was the new moon in Gemini. I'm trying to remember what that was all about. I think it was all about, I think there was the past came up, because the Six of Cups was there, but it was in the present. So it would be suggesting that, you know, that the past and the present are the same. And that was about fond memories and things like that. Well, I've seen that play out myself. So, you know, I crossed paths with, this is the 29th of May today. So we haven't even got to the new moon. But since I did that reading and posted it on that full moon, which was in Scorpio, I think it was. And apparently, according to one of the astrologers, I think it's the Leo King, that Scorpio that was like a 7-year cycle, and everything, all the planets being in Scorpio, that really intense time has now come to an end, or will do come 2020, January 2020, which I think is, you know, if you follow the cycles and you watch what's going on in your own lives and in the lives of others, then, you know, it's not about predicting the future. You can see by going back to the past, and maybe that's what that new moon was suggesting, going back to the past, and holding on to those fond memories, those good feelings. I don't mean to say that you might be getting back with that person that was part of it, but it's to wake your body up and for you to feel those feelings so that your vibration can match that. They can bring something else in, or somebody else in, to match that. And I think that's what that past card might have been saying also, because you know, I've been practicing, well, just feeling great excitement, and I always know there's change when I feel that. It means, you know, something is coming in. I never know what's coming in, but yeah, that literally the one day, I can't remember what it was, maybe a couple of days after posting that one, because it's interesting, it was posted on the 19th, or at least my sister put it up then, 19th of May, and 19th of May 2010 was actually when my, which was this part of this Scorpio cycle, was when my beautiful Labrador dog Shabby passed, and actually, so I see the 19th of May is known as the Buddha's birthday. So, and then that was posted on that day. So, you know, synchronicity is there all the time. You know, they're trying to guide you, help you. If you feel lost, or you know, you feel you're on the wrong path, etc. According to, I don't know who it was, but we're always on the right path. But what I take from that is we may always be on the right path, but it'll feel like the wrong path because things are happening that we don't like. And but we're on that right path to get us to where we need to go. But either way, to me, I think that's just like a comfort blanket. And you know, sometimes you just have to feel the harshness of things and let things break your heart. Let it break, you know, let things break your heart and break you open. So yeah, there was this synchronistic moment of seeing people from my past, and in particular this certain road that I lived in. and the name of a certain person which was connected to a relationship I'd never wish upon anybody, um, and but was my greatest teacher. So you know, you have to try and work it out of what it's saying. And then in the same day saw two people from the same road that we lived in, and lived in the same road for a long time. The one cast as an ex, but you know, he was coming down one way and I was going up another, and there was a road in between. So if you look at it symbolically, he was coming down, and we both turned to go the same way, but we couldn't both go at the same time because of the layout. And this car here that was on the road flashed for this person to go. So I held back, and I thought, interesting. Fire sign and an earth sign for me. The fire sign went first. The earth sign was laid back, and thought, no, I'll wait my turn. And so I thought, so it makes you curious about, and then saw the same person again the next day, and also received a text message from them, which is rare. But yeah, so you have to wait and see how things unfold. But also I've seen, you know, with the people around me and people I know, battles, power struggles. About that's what happens when you're not on the same page. You see, when somebody sees love in a certain way, somebody might want conditional love. They put conditions on it. They want it this way, that way. Somebody else might want unconditional, and then more go with the flow, and you know, that sort of feel. And then you're not on the same page, and it causes a lot of heartache. And even though the red flags are there at the beginning, and we choose not to see it. But this full moon, which is about completing something, is in the archetype of Sagittarius, which comes under the Temperance card. So we had, what was it, Gemini, which was air, and now we've got fire. Because you've got to look at the elements, they're important. And this particular angel is going through, you know, mixing lead into gold, or metals into whatever. It's like, it's transforming something. It's very spiritual card because it comes under Sag. So where your love life's concerned, where your spiritual life, where you are on your personal growth, you're in a process of, or you will be around this full moon, you're in a process of transforming something, changing something. It can be like the magician. You know, you're mixing things up, or mixing things to find the balance, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, so that you can produce something that's in more harmony, and more cooperation. This card is very much about cooperation and compromise, because it's known as the balance card. And where love's concerned, you're either compromising too much of yourself, because you should never be compromising yourself. You can only be compromising around situations, but never yourself. You need to be your true self all the time, even if that's painful and people leave you, etc. Or, you know, if only I hadn't have said this, you know. But that's codependency. That's managing other people's emotions. And this card says not to do that, because it's all about balance and you know, being true to yourself, because Sag is all about truth. If there was one word, it's all about truth, the truth seeker, or searching for the truth, or finding your truth, or speaking your truth, whatever it is for you. And it's interesting that this is Iris, the goddess Iris, and the iris flowers. This, you know, the temperament is to be, if you're compromising too much, then you need to be not compromising, and you need to be the other way. And if you're not enough, then you need to be more compromising. So it's the whatever's going on for you. But you know, she's got one foot in the water and one foot on the ground, so she's neither or of water or earth. She's balancing. But what's interesting is they're saying you need to take like the middle ground, because the crown is here, and this is the path to the crown. The crown is the soul, represents royalty, is the soul. And it's about finding the balance in your relationships, because it's all about moderation. So, and it's interesting that she comes in between the death card, Scorpio. We've got Pluto, I think, going retrograde. I did write the retrogrades down this time. Pluto retrograde, April 24th to October 3rd in Capricorn. And Saturn is going retrograde April 29th to the end of September in Capricorn. Mine's both in my 5th house, along with Jupiter also, which is in Sag. So that might be playing a part, Jupiter, April 10th to August the 9th, I think, roughly 11th. But that's in Sag, which is its own sign, I believe. I'm not sure. But yeah, so why was I saying that? But it's all about going with the flow, because this card can come up under addictions, especially if it's in reverse. It means you're either addicted to somebody, or you're being obsessive about somebody or a situation, or you're allowing your addictions or their addictions are getting in the way of a relationship, and because you've got to moderate your behavior. So it comes under diplomacy. And around a full moon, the moon is all about your emotions. It's connected to the tides. It's water. We're 70% water, so you've got to keep one foot on the ground, but you've also got to be feeling your feelings where love's concerned. And either people will trigger you, that Scorpio energy, by what they say or what they do. That's what I was saying. This card's in between Scorpio, the death card of transformation. This is spiritual transformation, because it's an alchemical process. But the death card is an end of something, usually physical, end of a chapter, so to speak. And then the next card is the Devil card, which is 15, this is 14. And you don't want, the Devil card is when the addictions can be in its full-blown stage, because you've got to that. You can, by using the Temperance and using the fire energy in a positive way, you can learn to blend the fire and the water and calm that down, because you don't want to lose the fire, because you want passion. So you need passion in a relationship. That's one thing I learned. I didn't even realize what chemistry was, when I was very young and I got married. What you know now, you just wouldn't do what you did. But there has to be chemistry with two people in a relationship, because otherwise it becomes like brother and sister, or if you're same-sex couples, the same sex, you become, there has to be some fire, and there has to be some chemistry and passion, but not to the extent that you're obsessive and it's codependent and it's toxic. Not that way, because the chemistry can be that way. It can be very toxic and lustful, and you've got to discern between the two. But you do need passion, you do need chemistry. Chemistry clicks two people together, ignites two people It's the spark, because otherwise how come you can walk down a road and, you know, not connect with hardly the 100 people you've just walked past, and yet there's that one person, and then you just click and it's there. It's because it's the chemistry. But this card is saying that it's going to be all around balance. You finding your truth, becoming peaceful about a situation. Either if you're single, it'll be about coming peaceful within yourself and balanced within yourself, so that you don't pull or draw in people, because it's very much a healing card, like the Star card is. You don't pull in the Devil card, the you know, those vampire energies, the narcissist energy, and that energy of your shadow side, because of the wounds and the healing. Because the card, this card in the Animal Tower is the Temperance card, is the Swan, and the Swan is the, like, the inner child, but it's the poet, it's the sensitive inner child, but it's the inner child that is healed and can express itself, and it's very much that the Swan says, you know, new endeavours, new dreams, new realms opening up around this time, but it says, like, to get your feet wet, you've got to put your toe in there, but you don't walk away from everything that's familiar to you. You don't just, it doesn't suggest jumping in. It says, you know, dip your toe in, feel for situations, especially if someone new is coming in from that new moon, because I think there was something about the Knight there, Knight of Wands there, which would then come under this. So you can be open to it, but you've got to be discerning. You've got to take the armor off your heart via discernment. That's the only way to do it. You know, because we all put up a barrier of some sort. But this is very much about saying, you know, dip your toe in, have a feel around, but don't just jump in around this time, because that's very much about the inner child. What else does Spirit want to say via this card? Because it's about diplomacy, so you may need to use tact, you know. Before I came awake, whatever you want to call it, more conscious, the old me, which I do miss actually quite a bit sometimes, is very, very direct, very to the point, didn't sugarcoat things, because I don't know why. I was the Queen of Swords, and that was just me, my nature, and you know, and that can hurt. That can hurt. It can be harsh sometimes, but sometimes the deliverance needs to be that way, to wake the person up or wake the situation up. So either you need to be that way, be more firmer, depending on what the situation is. You know, when you get to a point where somebody's just not listening, then you need to just tell your truth, say it the way it is, because you don't have any power how somebody reacts to that. And yeah, it's like that Scorpio sting, it's that, but sometimes it's needed, you know, and then sometimes diplomacy needs to come in. But I find a bit of falseness around that sometimes, but I suppose you just have to know yourself and learn what works for you. But let's see what the tarot cards would like to say. That's the channeled information. Let's see how this full moon is going to play out. Well, they wanted to jump out, but they came out like that. Sideways. So when it's sideways, it's a bit like being neutral, because this is reverse and this is upright. So it can be either or. But let's have a look. So 1 and 2. Right. Well, he's come back up, and we don't know, because he was down here in the new moon. But he was upright, which is for me, because our guides know us differently. Tarot readers and that, they all read differently. Yes, you get your basic things of the tarot cards, but you know, your own spirit guides know you, have lived with you all your life, and you know, and that's why it's always a good thing to say, especially if you're learning tarot, is to say, you know, yeah, know the basics, but then you can say, well, this means this to me, so please only let this card come up if this situation comes up and it's true, you know, is true to the meaning of what's going on for me. So for me, this card upright is you know, somebody very passionate, somebody who knows what they want, is but it can be all about them, because he's not the king, he is the knight. But either sometimes you have to be that way, or that's who you draw into your circumstances, because maybe things have been stagnant and there just needs to be, spirit wants you to, you know, you're not dipping your toe in, you're too scared to, because of past hurts and what's happened before. And maybe around this time they're saying, you know, but he is showing up in the second reading. And remember, that new moon cycle goes to the next new moon, which will involve the full moon. And then the full moon cycle goes to the next full moon, which involves the new moon. So you're just continuously unfolding. The story unfolds and unfolds. And then, of course, we've got those eclipse cycles next month. But he's shown himself, he was there, which was in the present. So this theme is still continuing. Like I said, they're not telling us because it came out like that, whether it's reversed or upright. So you're going to have to trust your own intuition there. Because if it's neutral, like that, it's neutral. It's neither or. It's neither or. So it's how you use that energy, or it's how you use that situation, or how you see somebody. But remember, if you're not very diplomatic, maybe around this time, because the full moon brings up emotions, people are more sensitive, people are more triggered around this time, more accidents happen around this time, then you would need to be that way, to get the result, to get the success that you need, which is this path here. And maybe, you know, because it says look out for signs. So maybe around this time, or from whenever you see the reading, maybe a swan might present itself, maybe one swan or two swans. So maybe if it's one swan, you know, at the end of the day, I always say trust your own intuition. You're the only one that knows everything that goes on in your life. Maybe if it's one swan that shows itself, because they're usually in a pair, because they mate for life, hence they come under the soulmate category. But if there's one, maybe that's about you working on yourself, your own spiritual alchemical process. But if there's two swans, maybe a relationship's going to help you do that, because it's healing. But we do have the karma card come up here, which is known as the judgment card. So it can be, I'm just throwing it out there, are you too judgmental about this person, or about anybody new that comes in, or are they that way about you, and then, or are you too harsh on yourself? Are you judging yourself? Because we've got Archangel Michael, I did at the beginning of the reading, before I laid out all the cards, and he's saying, forgive yourself, you've done nothing wrong. And basically it's saying there's some guilt around, that you feel guilty about something. And then that's causing a problem. So it's saying, you know, forgive yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't judge yourself. You're just in a learning process. You know, you're going through that chemical process of healing, and you've got to be gentle with yourself. But there's some sort of karma here. And definitely that person that I saw, you know, the soulmate card came out with the wisdom of the oracle. I can't remember what the what were these ones called, the Akashic records. Can't remember what that one was that came out. But it's about being curious. But this is somebody that's not the full-blown king, it's the knight, and so they don't have the same maturity, but there's excitement. This is about adventure, going on an adventure, feeling excited about something, and maybe somebody has to be a catalyst for that to happen, or you are for them. But it looks like there's some karma there, because on these particular cards it's got karma on it, but it is the Judgment card, which is all about decisions, a decision to make, or this person has a decision to make. Because the Gemini one, possibly there could have been three involved, because I went into the story of one of my soaps. But also on this card, this is about the eclipses, and we do have that eclipse cycle coming up. So this 6 months that we've just gone through, that is coming to an end, and it's going to be in, let me get it right, we've got the solar eclipse July 2nd in Cancer, which is water, and then we've got the full moon partial lunar eclipse in Capricorn. So you've got water and earth. And that's what this is, an eclipse here. So those other ones are coming to an end, not that I did them. So where are we going to place these? I don't think we're going to place them anywhere. They're just going to be there, and we're just going to do the normal cards, because they came out neutral. So we've got the Knight of Pentacles, because this is about moving forward, because he's facing this way. So this is your past, your present, your future. So you've got to continue, not stop, even though this horse is just standing there. Well, we assume he's not actually moving, whilst you can see this other one's moving. You know, this is all about, comes under the earth sign. This is very much the fire sign, your Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. And then you've got the earth, which is Capricorn, Virgo. Capricorn, Virgo, and my mind's gone blank. Oh well. Yeah, the earth signs. So that's going to bug me now. I'll blame the menopause. Earth signs. No, it's gone for some reason. Maybe that's saying something. But this means you've got to continue. You've got to keep working hard. You've got to keep plodding on, because this is my plodder. You know, he's very industrious. So whether this represents a person, or this is the energy that you need to be around this time, it says keep your head high, and you know, he hasn't got the thingy over his face. So it's very, very nice, warm, loving, caring person. And Taurus is the other one. I just saw it then, Taurus. You know, so very steadfast, very steadfast. So either you've got to be steadfast, or someone's coming in that's going to be steadfast. And so whether it's a goal of yours, and you know, that's what you're wanting, is to get to the Four of Wands, which is one of the best cards you can have, which is you know, can suggest an engagement, a wedding, a birth. It's a celebration, very much the celebration card. A home, It comes up very much about a home. So whether that's where you're heading towards, whether that's, you know, on your own, or whether for with somebody else, but definitely there's going to be something to celebrate around this time. Well, this is the high priest represents to me. It's about union. It's about marriage. It's the yin and the yang, the coming together, because this priest is the one traditionally that blesses a couple, or it has the power to marry people, and definitely with the Four of Wands. So if if you're in a relationship and you're heading that way from that Gemini new moon, which is about new beginnings, was the engagement card, and your love life is going to another level. Even if you're single, your angels or your guides must see someone on the horizon that's and not to settle, and to have faith, and because this card is very much about hope. It's a bit like the star card, but yeah, this is heading towards that, or that's where it might be heading. But this person has got something to do with it, because there's a decision to be made, either for him or for you. Doesn't matter what sex you are, because this is like a rebirth also. On the traditional, it's the coffins and everything, so it's like coming out of the darkness and seeing something. That could even be down to seeing a pattern, because in the past, and that can be, even down to yesterday, and money came in and then money went back out again. It doesn't always have to be the long past, or it could have been that new moon cycle. But he's got that coin, you see. There is something to and you've got the snowdrop here, so you've got to watch your thoughts around this card. It can be like poverty consciousness. It's something maybe you brought in from past lives, that sort of thing, or your partner might be that way, and that can drag you down too, because this card can come up when there's money problems in relationships that can be a bummer, and is really affecting the relationship. It's not that the love's gone, or that, it's because financial situations, because what you get after the Temperance card is the Devil card, which is very much about materialism and things like that. And this is like coming from a lack, or even somebody turning their back on you, or you turning their back on them, because this is like sending someone to Coventry. This is like being put out in the cold and feeling wounded, abandoned, or financially there's a lack, there's no money, and so it could be that somebody has to work hard, maybe have to take another job, because there just isn't the finances there. A lot of people have to take second jobs. I have to do my furniture and whatever. So what's at the heart of the matter is some form of betrayal. Again, like I said, abandonment, hurt. It's usually because we've betrayed ourselves. Usually there's red flags, and we haven't wanted to see the red flags, whether that was to do financially with the situation, but this is very much about hurt, feeling hurt. It is the sword, so it's very much the mental energy, so that can be going over and over, because it's about thoughts, so going over and over the past, and maybe you need to let the past go, because that would then become a problem. If somebody left you out in the cold financially, don't let that spoil your future, or spoil somebody else that's coming in, don't tar them with the same brush. You know, you've got to discern what's yours, what's from your past, what can you work on, because remember, this is about spiritual growth around this time. This full moon's it's the end of that 6-month cycle, so something will be completing itself. It could even be that pattern, but we'll get some more cards out on that, because you've got the Three of Pentacles, which is joining together, a collaboration, a coming together, collaboration, your resources together. It can be that, you know. You have to be part of a team, because this is like a cauldron, and you know, blending, a bit like the Temperance card, and a joining together. So, but he doesn't look very happy. But it's the Apprentice on there. It can come under the Apprentice cards, but we do have 2 3s there. So whatever happened in the past, and if you lost money, or if your partner lost money, or if it was due to a divorce or separation, there is growth there. There is something, because he's carrying the 1 coin. There is something there. So even if you've met somebody and they've got divorced, and you know they've been wiped out because of that, it's heading towards something good. They will get a home again, or you will get a home again. So it will be fine. You're going through that process. So if you've lost everything, it will be coming back to you. And of course that would cause, because that's what's at the heart of the matter, that's what's at the centre of the reading. But it might be that you might need to collaborate with somebody to get that, and that is under the Priest card. I was talking about the Queen of Swords. Now she can be, but she does speak her truth. That's right, she does speak her truth, and she is very direct, doesn't sugarcoat it. Like I said, either if you are that way, you may need to temper that down and be a bit more diplomatic, because that is the 5 of Pentacles there. So is that there because of the Queen of Swords? Because like I said, she can be quite harsh, even if she's speaking the truth, and she's connected to this heartbreak here, and these are playing their part in it, or will be playing their part in it. But this is a message of some sort coming in. It might be from this might be somebody different, because this person can appear more boring. It's totally different to the Knight of Wands. This energy is excitement, is knows what to say, sort of thing, and can sweep you off your feet, is what I'm trying to say. So, but we've got the Karma card there, a decision to make. So for some of you, because you've got the 3 again, which can be affairs of the heart, or it can be you're overthinking something, or your thoughts, you're coming too much from the mind and not about the heart, because there's some sort of betrayal there, but usually we've betrayed ourselves. We haven't wanted to see something, or listen to somebody. But yeah, or the Queen of Swords has said something, and then things have exploded in that sense. But there's going to be a message of some kind. Now, is it coming from this Queen of Swords? Is that coming from you? But yeah, there is a practical, like a physical message coming from the Queen of Swords. And it's about a relationship. It's about a couple. So in what way it's going to play out for people, I don't know, because there's, different people watching the thing. So, and as usual, I talk and talk and talk, because we've got the Page of Swords in reverse. And this is somebody getting ready to say something to cut your flipping head off, because they're in defense position, but they're immature because it's the page. And in reverse, it's so be careful, because of you might hear something about a couple, or somebody saying something about you. Someone's betraying you, or you're betraying them, or this Queen of Swords is. I don't know how it's going to play out, or is it to do with this? But I think because it's the swords, it's to do with the Queen of Swords. But let's see if we can go a bit deeper. And remember to forgive yourself. You've done nothing wrong. You were in a learning process. Well, that's to do, this earth sign is to do with investment, to do with finances, to do with money, and aiming for, where it's aiming for is this the funds celebration of some kind. That can even be to, you know, to get a home, or to get married, saving to get married. And it might take, but it's saying keep going, keep going, keep going. And yeah, you've got the whip on the heart. So somebody's is going through, or will be going through, a heartbreak of some kind, or somebody you know, because this is about arguments. There's going to be arguments, and I suppose it depends how you're going to be dealing with it, because these cards are like a head up. It's how to navigate the situation, how to best deal with it, because sometimes things have been set in motion, things have been said. Once things have been said, they've been said. But it is regarding this couple here. But there's some form of celebration, and this is about a man with finances, with money, regarding money. So he's looking okay, but there is some sort of argument. The news is on its way, you see, because this is about knowledge. This can be education. This is about, so you're going to hear something, because this is news that you've been waiting for is on its way, and it's regarding security, because the 4 is about security. It's something that's grounded, to do with this guy, but we'll get some more cards out on him. So like I said, even though you lost money, I feel this is confirming this. If you lost some money, or your partner did, or your potential partner did, or somebody you're considering, if they lost money, or you lost money, you're going to be okay, because you've got the Clover card there, which is about good luck. So whatever, it's going to come back round again, is what I feel that's saying, because you've got the fish, which is basically money, investment, finances, because there has been some sort of heartbreak. So maybe around this full moon, you're going to need this news. That's going to be something about collaborating, joining forces, compromising on something, because this is about compromise. You're either going to need to compromise on something to get a win-win situation, because this card is very much about a win-win situation, and you've got to hold your tongue. You've got to be careful, or something, or somebody might be on the defence because of what's happened in the past. That can be people that are going through separation, or going through divorce. There's children involved. It could cover many different scenarios, but there's some sort of wish coming for, and she's an air sign, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, so this could be coming from that Gemini new moon. But she does speak the truth. She does speak the truth because she's got the star on there, and that is about like a promise, because the Temperance card, it's like the water and the sun makes the rainbow, and you can't see it on here, but there is a rainbow at the back on the other cards, and the rainbow is a promise from whatever you believe in, God, the universe, etc. It's a promise that's coming, that's going to be kept. So something for this Queen of Swords. But yeah, there's some sort of, going to have to use your intuition, because whatever this message is about, I don't know if somebody's trying to shit stir, somebody's trying to cause problems, because it's the snake, it's you know, whether it's this person, whether there's some karmic energy, but whatever it is, it needs to be cleared and it needs to be sorted before this eclipse cycle comes, because you've got the owl on the 2. And this is about anxiety and worry and concern. So either you're going to receive a message or something, or you're going to hear something, somebody is trying to cause a problem, and so therefore it could be a child, so therefore, especially if there's, you know, your not foster, like stepmother or stepfather, whatever, and it could be stepchildren, you'd have to stick together and be on the same page, because you're having to find the truth. You're going to have to be diplomatic, because that can show up as a child also. It could be a scenario like that, or there's somebody trying to cause problems between a couple, because you've got this is about chitter chatter, this is somebody speaking about something, and it does say about collaborating. You may have to stay and join forces and stay on the same page, if that's what's, because it's all around. This is about, but this is, you can see the sun, the clouds are parting, but yeah, there's this, and I think there was something big, because I think it was was it the mountain or something in the new moon, and there was something big to overcome. I can't remember what, but let's just get a few cards out on the heart of the matter, I think. See what that's saying, and then we go into the spiritual guidance. Heart of the matter, confirmation. Yeah, because that's, the 5 is about somebody thinking they've won something over somebody else, and feeling smirk and smug, like using their wit, their brains, that Gemini energy, and feeling that, you know, and that, but it depends how you look at the situations, because 5 can be very restrictive, but it is in reverse. And there you've got the Page of Wands. This is like somebody's going to be speaking out, whether it's a child speaking out, you know, out of the mouths of babes. Maybe there's something you had your suspicion on, but the 3 of Swords, betrayal. Maybe you had suspicion on, and now it's full moon, it's going to come out. The truth's going to come out. Because this is very much about, but it's usually good news though, this one, and that is in reverse, because there is a new beginning. This is like a new awakening, like a new consciousness, not seeing something differently, but it's very much the spiritual. It's like an awakening. So whatever this message is, know that it has to be gone through to get to what I heard the other day. You've got to hit rock bottom sometimes to then come back up. And I don't know how it will affect, you know, the people that will watch this. So you read between the lines and So, romance angels, most important message, please, regarding this full moon reading. There is a reconciliation of some sort, and with the reconciliation, because of the karma card and a decision, there's unfinished business. There's something about this Scorpio 7-year cycle coming to an end in January 2020. There's something about this eclipse cycle that's coming to an end because of this new eclipse, and this full moon completes that 6-month cycle. I don't know what it started in, but we're ending it in Sag, which we're ending it in the truth. So I think you need to look at the last 6 months of what's been going on for you, because there's some sort of reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. And if you take it back to the new moon in Gemini, there was the 6 of Cups there, and this card came up for the person that I pulled the card for. So it looks like, I don't know if children or someone's acting childish. You could still have adults, like male or female, that are in men and women's bodies, but they're acting childish. They're in adults' bodies, but they're acting childish. And then that brings, I don't know why, but the new Elton John movie, you know, at the end, he hugs the little boy, which is himself, which is very much about the swan and the inner child. So it is, and it is about healing. So something to do with a child, either your inner child or an actual child, whether they've caused problems or something's going to be said, because it is coming to light. News is on its way, and that's in the future. We can't put a timing on it because of free will, but there is going to be something. When, I don't know, but maybe around this full moon. I mean, this new moon was very accurate in my life and the lives of people that I see and that have readings. So that's definitely there. But know that it's part of the healing. But try not to, you know, the subscribers that have been with me from day one, they know that I don't label things. Don't label it this, don't label it that, you know, whatever. But I don't go down that route. All I think is, if we trigger each other, and the more somebody bolts, the more wounded they are. And what you're wanting is somebody who's, you know, more mature and more healed, that you can work through things together. So, yeah, definitely somebody from the past is, there is a reconciliation on the cards. Let's see what else the angels want to say regarding this situation, because something's playing out regarding this reconciliation. Peaceful resolution. So there's going to be, because of the temperance, this is the archetype, this is the energy you're going to be working with, or you'll need to work with, to get the peaceful resolution. The thing is not to be attached to what that is about. Don't know if we can find this one in time. Let's have a look. Ah, there we go, I saw it. Oh, I've got a sore throat coming, I think. The challenges you're inquiring about are going to come to an end. I did say there's something that is completing itself and needs to come to an end. Conflict will cease and soon be replaced with harmony. And that's about a win-win situation. That's what that card is all about. There will be a sense of peace shared by all, even if some only agree to disagree. You know, it could be as minor as that you come to a place where you agree to disagree and you just let go of something. It can be as simple as that, and you move on. Disagreements will be resolved in your favour. This includes struggles with employers, legal battles, arbitration, and even strife among family or friends, because this could be forgiving and understanding with those who may have been in error. Allow peace to come with grace and dignity for everyone, which is why the Temperance card is here, Diplomacy card is here. And remember Archangel Michael in the beginning, forgiving yourself. You've done nothing wrong, or be forgiving towards others that you feel, because it's saying you've done nothing wrong, but there might be somebody that, you know, has done you wrong. So let's see what the Akashic Records wants to say regarding this full moon on a collective level. Well, it's the Queen of Keys. Now she's all about, she's actually, she's on the top of her building where she lives, and she's smiling like anything, because she can see in the distance her husband returning, or, you know, but it's just symbolic to somebody returning that she's married. She is married. This is the marriage card here. And he is there, so she's happy because this person's coming back, and that can be as simple as that, because there's a reconciliation there. Because she's smiling because she can see her husband in the distance coming home, far distance I think it was, though I'm not too sure. But what else do we need to know? Wisdom of the Oracle regarding this situation. Okay, so it's got orphaned. So there's a sense of not belonging, because this is a 5, this is a 5. There's a sense of not belonging. But let's have a look, see what the thingy says, number 5, as to how it fits into this reading. We were all meant to have connections with other people within our families, society and the larger culture. No man is an island, and it's important to recognise when being a part of rather than separate from is essential to your well-being. The issue at hand is the need to find where you fit. Be true to your core truths and values, which is the Temperance card. Perhaps you no longer identify with a group or a community the way you did before and need to find a new situation. But we are talking about love here. You might be feeling a deep sense of loss or confusion. Address the need for belonging and know that you will find your place with others of like mind and spirit. It's okay to let go of pressure to fit in. Not everyone will understand you. It's time to move on. But the relationship message, as you shift and evolve and commit to your own growth, which is the Temperance card, what I said at the beginning, commit to your own growth. You long for support, but may be disappointed and hurt by others who are not providing what you feel you deserve. Perhaps you are drifting away from this relationship because you're in a different stage of personal growth, because you're going through an alchemical process. Perhaps you are in a new relationship and discovering that you don't share the same values and beliefs, and that's going to be painful and hurtful. So you feel left out, unable to get to the intimate place of safety and belonging. Take heart, as Spirit knows you and loves you and will steer you in the direction of those who accept you as you are, without artifacts or agenda. Don't compromise yourself to belong. It won't be worth the price, and that's what I said. Compromising, yes, where you live, where you go for dinner, that sort of thing, but don't compromise yourself. You will find where you belong. You will find home. Whispers of love. What would you like to whisper to us, please? And I think that's where it comes into not settling for second best either. Look at your pattern in relationship. It requires inner strength to recognise that you need to change or modify your behaviour. And that's very much about this. It's about modifying your behaviour. And let's see how so you've got to take a look at yourself, look at the past 6 months, look at the patterns in the relationship, so you don't keep going through the same old story. It's only because of the orphan, you're trying to find where you belong, you're trying to get your needs met, but don't compromise yourself, because if you do, then you don't get your needs met, and you're just as important as the other person. How would the universe have our back during this full moon? And this is what we need to do. Attack, pain, fear, judgment, which we do have the judgment card down here on this chappy here, and any form of separation are merely cause for help. So if somebody's doing that to you, then know that they might not be saying it, but there was a shout out here to somebody's hurting, or somebody's angry about something that's been said, or they've heard something, or you've heard something. But separation are merely cause for help. So, and there is the reconciliation card. So either you've got to be, to get this peaceful resolution, you've got to be the person that reaches out. But if anybody's attacking you like that sword, you've got to look at your patterns, then, you know, that's what it's saying. That's how the universe will have your back around this time. There we go. I do hope that helps, those messages. Please like, share and subscribe. It's your gift back to me. And if you're happy to donate, then please go to my website towards the astrology course. There is a donate button there, and it's very, very much appreciated. So until I come back with the lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, take care, and I do hope these messages support you. And if you need to reach out, go to my website. All the information is there to book a reading. Lots of love. Namaste.